Nobody comes out of their mother's womb with a pair of glasses and a college degree, yet some people become high-level intellectuals doing college-level math at 8 years old, while others become dumb YouTubers like me. The people and other shit around you mold you into who you are today. At first glance, Luffy's not the smartest guy in anything, but once you take a closer look and see how he interacts with people, you will understand that he's smarter than almost all the other characters in One Piece. Luffy's intelligence isn't that of science, history, or building shit, but of people. His understanding of people's emotions combined with a straightforward and honest personality makes him a unique and almost alien-like character, because it is so far away from what we interact with on a day-to-day basis. For the casual fan, it might look like Luffy has only grown in strength and has been the same personality-wise from the start, but in today's video, I will talk about 3 instances from his past, pre-time skip, and post-time skip life to show his evolution and how you can connect with people better if you follow some of the shit he does. Past. Connecting with Ace. Up until meeting Ace, he didn't have a single interaction with someone his age. We still don't know if Luffy knew his mom or not, but before he ever met Ace, he went through rigorous training under Garp and also hung around Shanks and his crew. Although these guys taught him valuable lessons in physical and mental strength, they could never understand each other how people of the same age group do. Let me give you an example. Remember being a little kid and seeing that cool uncle who would give you shit? Well, Shanks is basically that cool uncle. You look up to that person and have a cool vibe with him, but it's different compared to hanging out with your friends. When Luffy is caught by the Blue Gem pirates and is almost beaten to death to give up the spot where Ace and Sabo hid their treasure, he does not say a word. And when asked by Ace why he doesn't give away the spot, he tells them, "Because I don't have anybody else. I don't like mountain bandits, and getting beaten up is scary, but being alone is even worse." I'm paraphrasing a little, but who gives a shit? This touches a childish part of my soul because we all want to say what we think and can probably remember a time in our life when we would say that, no matter how selfish it sounded. And I still want to be that person saying fuck you to consequences, but then fear, doubt, and social awkwardness creeps into my mind. There is no way Luffy knew that Ace felt like he was being rejected by the world because he was Roger's kid and felt that the world hated him. But Luffy saying that he wanted to be around Ace made him feel like he was wanted. And everyone wants to feel wanted by someone else. This does not mean you have to tell every person you meet how you feel and what you want to do. It just means you should be honest with yourself. You don't need to shout from the rooftop, but just need to find someone who you can relate to. Luffy grew up around strong-willed people. Garp, Shanks, Ace, Sabo, all of them differ in many ways, but are all strong-willed people who want to be the best at whatever they do. Growing up around people like that, you want to be like them. You want to catch up to them. That is why, as he grew up and understood people's emotions, he didn't lose sight of his goal or his convictions. If you go all the way back to his fight against Fat Alvida, not the sexy Alvida, when he says he will be the Pirate King for the first time ever in the show, everyone on the ship laughs, but he's able to shut out their opinions. We are much more like Kobe. We probably grow up around regular people, and after we grow up a little, people start asking us to be realistic or think like an adult. It slowly breaks us into giving up our dream. However, Luffy builds his crew full of people who are committed to something in life. That is why they're able to understand each other so well, even though they all come from different walks of life and have different ambitions. Pre-time skip, requiring Usopp to apologize. Like I previously mentioned, the time between Sabo's so-called death and meeting Zoro, Luffy interacted with very few people. He had strong characters like Shanks and Garp around him in his formative years to help him become the man he is today. However, the leadership qualities required to keep a pirate crew together, he gained that along the way using his natural instinct and straightforward approach to life. Luffy and his crew are the tightest group of friends in all of anime, and we see that every time they head into battle. But the one thing Luffy gained emotionally was the ability to command respect. Every leader needs to be respected, whether it's a president, a CEO, or even the fleet admiral. You need to command the respect of the people below you for an organization to work. This doesn't mean you have to be a dickhead or boss around people. Luffy barely makes any decisions, but he's still the final authority, and that is understood by everyone. When Usopp challenges him to a duel to keep the going merry, Luffy is forced to accept because he cannot allow any disrespect towards his decisions. A crew that doesn't respect its captain won't last very long. This is something that Luffy knew instinctively before Zoro told him that. Luffy knew he needed Usopp to apologize, but his desire to bring him back into the crew was overriding his rationality. And when Zoro brought him back to his senses, he remembered that every crew has rules and customs that must be followed, or else the crew will fall apart. This is why they became such a tight-knit group of friends and are able to train for 2 years to help Luffy, who they knew for 9 months or less. Post-time skip. Luffy telling Tama that Ace is dead. Even though he knew it would hurt Tama to hear that, Luffy did not say it to make her feel bad, but for her not to build up false hope and be disappointed in the future. Did you notice this in the Wano arc? Luffy is starting to resemble Shanks in the way he mentored Tama and Momonosuke. He treats them as equals as he relates to them on a childish, innocent level, but is also ready to dish out hard truths for them to grow. When Momonosuke tries to hide behind Keyamon and his other retainers during the formation of the Ninja Pirate Mink Samurai Alliance, I know I could have said the formation of the alliance on Zou, but I really wanted to say the Ninja Pirate Mink Samurai Alliance. It's so cool. Luffy tells him to stand up for his convictions and act like the leader his father wanted him to be. Although Nami tries to stop Luffy from being too harsh on a child, he doesn't back off, because he knows that everybody needs to grow up and face the fire sometime. And like I previously mentioned, Luffy tells Tama that Ace is dead even though he knew it would hurt her. But let me ask you this, did you also wonder why Luffy didn't tell her that he's related to Ace right on the spot? Well, there's a reason for this. Luffy wanted Tama to process and mourn the death of Ace rather than telling her that he's related to Ace and having her feel bad for him. And like Nami mentions later on, if Luffy was bothered by it, he would have said something. While pre-time skip Luffy would probably want to give every piece of information and try to connect with them as much as possible, post-time skip Luffy is able to strategically select information that he wants to hide from people to watch them mature. As the story has progressed, Luffy has gone from understanding people to commanding them, and now is at the point where he's able to mentor them. While he has grown in these aspects of his life, he's still able to retain his jovial and fun nature, showing that maturity does not mean you have to act serious, but know when to be serious. It's true that there are other shonen protagonists that are emotionally smart and honest like Luffy, for example, Naruto and Goku, but their emotional maturity only happens in one field. And don't get me wrong, I love Naruto and Dragon Ball, but they don't have the emotional checks and balances that happen in One Piece. Luffy is pushed to new heights by his crew and other characters because they force him into spots of discomfort when necessary. Having friends like Zoro and the others is important as fuck, as they will keep you grounded but will also push you to achieve your life goals. Watch this video if you want to find out how the Straw Hats became boys.